The deployment by the United States of a low-peak missile system in the Philippines has generated widespread concern. It is speculated that the system may have a range of between 1,000 and 5,500 kilometers and is capable of striking targets with precision. It is routinely equipped with Tomahawk cruise missiles and Standard 6 anti-missile missiles, and is capable of striking both land and sea targets, as well as possessing multi-target attack capability, anti-jamming capability, and a certain degree of survivability. According to the parameters of the system, his strike range has covered a number of provinces along the southern coast of China, and the farthest strike range exceeds the Taiwan Strait, an act that has caused concern. Some people believe that ICBMs can strike any target around the world. So what is the significance of deploying intermediate-range missiles in the Philippines? In fact, there is a significant difference between the two. When an ICBM is launched, satellites are able to detect it quickly and enough time for early warning and interception. However, do not forget that the missile system intercept altitude can reach 100 kilometers, which means that it can intercept Chinese missiles that have just been launched but have not entered space, which is what we know as primary interception. Of course, intercontinental missiles are not usually launched easily, and if they are, they could trigger a nuclear war. By contrast, an intermediate-range missile can be fired straight away and is a much more offensive weapon, but the problem is that, in times of peace, it is clear that a war between two nuclear powers is unlikely to be fought. So, in my opinion, the system's biggest role is to detect and monitor China's military movements. And it is worth noting that the U.S. military's current deployment is under the guise of a drill. If China does not react strongly to this, the U.S. military is likely to deploy the system in the Philippines for a long time. From a series of actions in recent years, the U.S. military is interested in making the Philippines a military bridgehead. The Philippine Air Base has already deployed F-22 fighters, and now the missile wing has been added. When the Cuban Missile Crisis occurred, the U.S. response was very strong, but nowadays, we are actually officially just standardizing condemnation and protests. Do we already have a response, or are we not afraid? But according to my idea, it should make a little response, express a specific attitude, such as pulling a few warships to the United States waters near the freedom of navigation, such as the missile range of 2,000 kilometers. Then go to 500 kilometers away from them to punch the blind. Electronic reconnaissance ship monitoring 3,000 kilometers, then also go to visit. It should be like the Gulf of Aden convoys to the punching card as a daily copy of the cycle of tasks in the vicinity of the appropriate exercises. 365 days a year. Towards the United States direction a day to send a ship's gun. Anyway, cannot spend a few dollars. And now people have come to the doorstep to flaunt. Why not react? Today's situation is similar to China's version of the Cuban Missile Crisis. Will China deploy East Wind missiles in Cuba and the Philippines? Has it considered the Russian-Ukrainian conflict? Has it considered the worst possible outcome?